Well, hi, Mike and Jess. Hope you're doing well. And I know the weather is pretty nice there right now, which is really great. I'm a little hoarse. I've been doing a lot of talking today with all the student teachers up here in Barrow, Alaska. But anyway, I thought I would get you some feedback this way through video capture. That way you'll get some at least one-on-one feedback. It'll be my feedback. I won't get to listen to what you have to say, but I do have some questions for you that I would like you to respond to. So I looked at the first lesson that you sent from last Friday, and I looked at about half of the second one for the second class. I honestly am not sure which was your class and which is the other class, but it doesn't really matter. I think both of them went really well. They were very planned, very organized. You really did a nice team job of dividing up the content for the lessons with the students. So all of those things went well in terms of the accuracy of the content and all that. I had already reviewed your PowerPoint, and that looked really well too. The students, I'm actually looking at my notes, so if it looks like I'm reading, I am reading just to be sure that I go over all of the notes that I have regarding the lesson. But the students seemed very engaged, very attentive. I really like the KWL format. I think that's a really great way to develop some of the metacognition. It's also really interactive. You came back to that at the end of the lessons, which I think is also really good. But you can also think of it not in terms of just one lesson, but across a unit. And I know you're working on energy and waves, really well on waves within the science lessons that you're doing. And I know that you're also teaching 3, and by now you've probably taught all of them because it's Tuesday here in Barrow. And we don't have YouTube here, so I have to wait till I get to the school to upload this onto the YouTube website. But anyway, so also some really, really good things. It looks like you're doing really well. So I do have a few questions and a few comments to you. So I'm really curious as to what you found out. And actually, I would like you to respond to these questions. That'll be your part of the interaction. If you want to do a videotape, video capture, you're welcome to do that. But because this is a one-way conversation, I want to make it two-way, so you can either write them out together or you can do the video, like I said. But anyway, when the students were taking all the notes, I'm assuming that when they were done, that you looked over all of those notes, and I'm wondering what you thought about the notes. So I guess the real question I have is, are the students capturing the important information and basically the definitions for all of those different terms? How are you feeling about how they did with that? I'd be really curious to know what you're thinking about with that. When you're talking about, so at the very beginning, and I think actually this might be Mike when you were teaching in the beginning and you're talking about mechanical waves, but this question is really for both of you. How do you decide who you're going to call on when you call on students and you ask a question? How do you make those decisions? So I'd really like to hear more about that, how you make those decisions on who you're going to call on. Something else, just this is an aside. So the camera was really focused on a part of the classroom. I couldn't really see the students for the other lessons that you're going to be doing. If you could just check in the viewfinder or have Julie, I think is the name of your cooperating teacher, have her take a look at that. That would be really helpful to be sure you're capturing the whole classroom, and also because of your own data for your study that you're going to be doing. I can see you both because you're at the front of the classroom, and I can see a corner of the students, maybe 6 or 7, but I can't really see the rest. And that's kind of where this question is coming from. I can't really tell how many students have their hands up when you ask a question, so I'm just really curious about that, how you decide on who you're going to call on, and also thinking about wait time, how much wait time you're really allowing. I'd like you to be more cognizant of that time. I know you only have 30 minutes for these lessons, and actually they're both right at 30 minutes, so you did a really nice job with the pacing, and I forgot to mention that as well. A couple things that I think would be really helpful for me to see. I don't know if Katrina and Valerie have mentioned those things as well. But Jess, when you start to smile and you're looking at the kids and you're smiling, your body kind of lights up. And I think that's really great, that positive affect. And I'm hoping I can see more of that from both of you, just, that kind of personality that you both have. I don't know how you feel about the content of this lesson. I think you did just fine with it. But if that maybe makes you a little nervous, try to look like you're really enjoying it and the kids, which I think you are. But smiling I think is would be really helpful, and help the kids to know that you're enjoying what you're doing. Um, Another thing about the two of you, obviously this was a very smart board kind of presentation, but you're both at the front of the classroom. And, again, I'm only getting to see part of the classroom. Sometimes you do kind of walk in between things as students had questions as they were working on at the beginning, especially when they're working on what they know, and of course at the end as well, and then kind of move around. But I'd encourage you to use more of the space of the classroom instead of being just at the front of the classroom, to move around. Obviously with a smart board you have to touch the screen and get it to move, but I think that would be really awesome if you're moving around the students, because then you're also able to see some of the things that maybe you don't notice when you're in the front of the classroom. So those are my comments for right now, and just would like you to kind of respond about who you call on, thinking about the note, quite helpful. So have a great day, and I will look forward to your feedback later on, and I will load this up on YouTube as well. Bye-bye.